In an article published in 2017, Antonia Hoyle talks about millennials in the workplace. In her article, Hoyle uses examples from bosses to detail the entitlement displayed by their millennial employees. Millennials and the following generations are becoming more egotistical for many reasons. Their obsessions with themselves causes problems for themselves, their families, and their coworkers. But what is causing the entitlement seen in many millennials today? First, there is a lack of discipline in many of their lives. Parents have begun using softer techniques for disciplining their children. They tend to a child's needs when demanded to. This allows the children to place themselves first, and it creates a lack of respect for the parent. The children grow to see themselves in control, and they begin to demand independence. Along with their parenting, other factors contribute to a growing child's entitlement. Today, social media gives us an easy pathway to share our lives. Instantly, hundreds of people have insight of our actions and they can give us praise. This instant gratification causes young adults to desire every reward immediately instead of working diligently to earn it. All of these factors and more add up to create workers who feel they own the world. Their lack of respect for their parents lead to a lack of respect for their supervisors. The instant gratification takes away their patience. In order to remedy this problem, we can look to a parable from the Gospel for a solution. In Luke chapter 15, Jesus tells the story of the prodigal son. The father had two sons, and the younger son demands his inheritance while his father is still alive. This would have been extremely disrespectful in those times. However, the father grants his wish, and the son leaves to a faraway country. He wanted independence. While away, he squanders his goods on what the Bible calls wild living. With his sudden increase in wealth, the son felt as though he had the ability to do whatever he wanted. When a famine hits, though, he is forced to live in poverty and go without food. This goes to show there are consequences from living entitled. After coming to his senses, the son plans to ask for forgiveness, and he plans what he will say to his father. He will beg his father to become a servant because they live much better than his current situation. So he begins his shameful walk back home. Upon his arrival, his father surprisingly runs to meet him with open arms. He commands the servants to give him the nicest robe, a ring and shoes, and they prepare a celebration. The older brother sees this and becomes angry that his father is doing so much for his brother. However, the father reminds him that the full share of inheritance will still be his, and he should celebrate his brother's return. Quote, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again, end quote. The older brother disrespected his father in that moment due to his jealousy. He felt he was more entitled to a celebration than his brother, who had done so much wrong. Jesus used this parable to teach the Pharisees, who felt they were too righteous to associate themselves with sinners. They did this after a crowd had formed around Jesus with his teaching. This crowd was made up of mostly sinners. What can young people today learn from this passage of Scripture? Number one, living entitled will have consequences in some way. These problems will continue to compound until you see the error of your ways. As Christians, we must understand our Father is our provider, and we need to respect His planning and His timing. We need to be patient and diligent in our work, looking to the Father for our answers. When we inevitably fail, we need to remember that He is forgiven and He loves us unconditionally.